The moment you decide to lift your hand, it already moved. Before you thought, "I will," the brain had begun. Science calls it the readiness potential, the shadow of choice before awareness. You think you choose. But what if your conscious mind is only watching, narrating a story already in motion? In ancient Greece, the Stoics said, "Everything unfolds as it must." In India, karma binds action to consequence. Even the stars, they believed, hold your future. But today, it's not the gods, it's neurons, genetics, environment. Has the cage changed form? Or did it never open to begin with? Think of the last time you made a choice. Was it yours? Or a result of habit, trauma, algorithms, childhood, coffee, sleep? At what point do you appear in the decision tree? Or are you just the echo of the final output? Neuroscience shows your brain decides before you know it. So, who is this you that gets the credit? A narrator? A mask? Or a passenger sitting in a theater, watching the film of life, convinced you're the director? And yet, we feel it. The resistance, the pause, the weight of a decision. Maybe free will is not the power to choose anything, but the power to resist. To say no, to interrupt the script even just once, and write a new line. Imagine a clockwork universe, each cog turning at its own pace, every gear preset long before you arrived. Your mind, an intricate mechanism of impulses and chemicals, ticks in time with this grand design. Yet here you stand, feeling choice surge in your veins. Perhaps choice itself is but another gear, an illusion meticulously programmed by biology and circumstance. Free will, then, might be the feeling of a spark in a machine, never its fuel. Across centuries, philosophers have argued fate versus freedom, as if two opposing winds. But what if they are the same wind seen from different shores? Your genes, your upbringing, even the language you think in, they carve the channel of the river you're in. And yet, within that current, there's a swirl, a tiny eddy, where your intention flickers into being. That flicker may be small, but it shapes the flow. Perhaps true freedom lies not in escaping causality, but in exploring the space between cause and effect. Modern science reveals our choices form before consciousness stirs, yet you still feel the triumph of deciding. Could that feeling be our mind's greatest gift, an artist's flourish atop a blueprint it never drew? Each time you choose, you claim authorship of a story that began pages back. Maybe free will is less about writing the plot and more about composing the final line. And yet, freedom can feel like a burden. To choose is to risk wrong steps. To act is to face consequences you never intended. In that moment of doubt, when the heart quails before the mind, you glimpse the weight of freedom. The power to choose is also the power to err, to lose what you cannot reclaim. So perhaps free will is not a gift, but a challenge. To stand at the crossroads and embrace both possibility and peril. Some say surrender is freedom. Let the river carry you. Stop paddling upstream against destiny's current. But if you let go completely, will you vanish into the flow? Or will you become the flow itself, your choices woven into the fabric of unfolding moments without owner or regret? Maybe the ultimate will is to will no will, to rest in the embrace of what is. Picture your life as a labyrinth, each wall shaped by memory, each corridor a pattern repeated since childhood. You walk these halls daily, thinking each turn is new. But look closer. Haven't you seen these shadows before? Free will may not be the power to escape the maze, but to realize it's a maze. And in that awareness, perhaps a new path appears, not out, but deeper in. The illusion of choice is seductive. You feel it when you pick between coffee or tea, city or forest, silence or song. But beneath each preference lies a web of hidden causes, some ancient, some forgotten. The mind does not choose freely. It reacts according to its design. And yet, to know this is already to awaken. To see the web is the first act of loosening its grip. When you say, "I who speaks," is it the voice in your head? The one behind your eyes? Or the quiet awareness that watches both without judgment? If free will exists, it may live in that silence, in the still space between thought and reaction. Not in the loud moment of choice, but in the pause before it. In that brief, flickering moment, you are free. Religions offer freedom through surrender to God, to Dharma, to the Tao. Science offers freedom through understanding of neurons, of pattern, of probability. But both agree on one truth. Without awareness, there is no freedom. You cannot choose what you do not see. The eyes must open before the hands can move. So where does that leave us? Neither puppets nor gods, but something in between. Dancers improvising within a rhythm we didn't compose. Freedom, then, is not absolute control, but conscious improvisation. A sacred play between impulse and intention. A dance in which we may never lead, but we can learn to listen, and in listening, move. They say we are made of stardust, but stardust follows gravity. It doesn't choose where to fall. Are we any different? The atoms that make your brain obey the laws of physics. Every synapse, every thought, is part of a vast cosmic equation. If free will exists, then it must be the rebellion of stardust. The moment dust wakes up and dares to ask, "Can I go another way?" Sometimes you feel it, that strange freedom in stillness. When everything falls quiet and you're no longer reacting, you're observing. The world moves, but you're not pushed. The thought comes, but you're not its prisoner. In that space, awareness becomes a quiet power. Maybe free will is not about controlling the storm, but becoming the eye of it. Technology now knows what you'll click before you do. Algorithms finish your sentences, suggest your dreams. The mirror you look into is no longer neutral. It reflects your patterns back at you, amplified. In this feedback loop, choice becomes echo. And so the question isn't just, do we have free will? It's, will we still want it when everything is chosen for us? You were taught to chase freedom, but no one said freedom would feel this heavy. To choose is to bear the weight of consequences. It means owning not just success, but regret. And yet, there is something sacred in that burden. To be free is not to be comfortable. It is to be responsible. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. And finally, you stand in the center of yourself. The past behind, the unknown ahead. Maybe you're not here to escape the machine, but to understand it, and in understanding, play a role in its evolution. Your will may not be free from the world, but it can be free within it. That, perhaps, is the freedom worth seeking. You rewind your life in your mind, every choice, every fork in the road. You wonder, what if I had turned left instead of right? But the question hides a trap. You never stood outside time, surveying paths like a god. You were always in it, shaped by mood, memory, momentum. What you call a choice may have been the only move the moment allowed, but the awareness of that truth might still give birth to a new path. Some say consciousness is the light in the cave, but light casts shadows. You see what your mind lets you, and even when you choose, your hand is guided by instincts shaped by fear, love, hunger, habit. So where is the free will in that? Maybe it's not in controlling what rises, but in choosing which impulse you allow to stay. Modern neuroscience tells us decisions begin in the brain before we're aware of them. The signal fires, the hand moves, then the story is written after. Are we just narrators of actions already taken? If so, what is left of the self? But if the narrator knows the script was written, can it start to edit the ending? Imagine a future where every action can be predicted, where your next word, your next move, is a pattern in a machine. Would you still feel human? Or would you feel trapped? Perhaps free will is not in being unpredictable, but in choosing meaning, even if the script is written. A dancer still dances, even if the music was composed long ago. So much of what we call free is entangled, with genes, with culture, with trauma. But entanglement is not imprisonment. A tree's roots do not make it less alive. They give it the strength to rise. Your freedom may not be to fly without cause, but to grow, even through stone. That, too, is sacred. Some philosophers say that free will is an illusion, but a necessary one. Like the horizon, never truly there, but still guiding your steps. Perhaps we were never meant to break free from causality, only to believe we could. And in that belief, we found responsibility. In that illusion, we found ourselves. You are not the first to ask these questions. For centuries, seekers have knelt in temples, stared into stars, written volumes in candlelight. Some found peace in surrender, others in rebellion. But all of them shared one thing, the ache to know, am I choosing or merely moving? That ache is the birthplace of philosophy, and maybe of freedom itself. Imagine a universe where everything is determined, stars, thoughts, every breath. Cold? Maybe, but also comforting. You are part of something vast, seamless, precise. No wasted motion, no accidents. But then you smile, for no reason. A gesture outside the equation. What is that spark? Could it be a glitch in fate? Or its secret doorway? There's a silence between thoughts, brief, unnoticed. In that silence, you are not your past, not your name, not your fears. Just awareness, presence, no script, no conditioning. Maybe free will isn't the power you wield constantly, but a doorway that opens in that stillness. And all you need is to step through. So ask yourself again, not with logic, but with quiet attention. Who moved first, me or the world? If the answer shifts each time, maybe that's the point. Free will is not a final answer, but an eternal dance. You step, the world replies. And somewhere in the rhythm, a self is born, not free from the dance, but free within it. You've heard it said, everything happens for a reason. But what if the reason isn't cosmic, but cognitive? The mind is a master of meaning-making, stitching patterns into chaos. Even randomness becomes narrative in hindsight. Perhaps free will begins where this pattern ends, where, for once, you act without a story. Not because of what was, but because of what could be. In dreams, you act without hesitation. No guilt, no logic, only impulse and flow. And yet, you wake, wondering, was that me? Maybe waking life is the same, only with a slower dream. One where consequences echo. But if you can observe the dream, name it, question it. Perhaps that moment is where freedom lives. Every moment is a crossroad disguised as routine. Do you speak or stay silent? Do you turn left or keep going straight? Most choices pass unnoticed, decided by habit. But some feel like cracks in time. A weight settles in your chest. You pause. And for that one breath, you know, this matters. That weight is your compass. That breath might be the closest thing to free will we ever know. There are those who deny free will to absolve responsibility. I had no choice, they say. But even a caged bird chooses how to sing. Freedom is not always about escape. Sometimes it is about how you carry the chain, with bitterness or with grace. The world may bind your hands, but your voice, that is yours. You were born into a language you didn't choose, a name you didn't pick, a story already half written. But here you are, listening, questioning, and that alone is rebellion. Maybe free will isn't loud. Maybe it whispers. Maybe it begins with a single word. Why? Some say we're just actors in a play written by physics, chemistry, and time. But even an actor, bound to a script, decides how to speak their lines. With fire or with fear, with truth or with performance. So maybe you don't choose the scene, but you choose the voice. And sometimes the voice changes the ending. In the realm of neuroscience, they found something unsettling. The brain decides before you do. A twitch in your neurons comes milliseconds before you feel you've chosen. Are you just a witness to a body that moves without asking? Or is the witness itself part of the script? Perhaps awareness isn't control. It's observation. But in observing, something shifts. We fear losing control. But what if freedom isn't about control at all? What if it's about harmony, moving in tune with the current, not against it? Like a dancer who doesn't fight the music, but becomes it. In that surrender, in that flow, something freer than choice is born. Something deeper than decision. The ancients spoke of fate as a thread woven by gods. But even they believed in heroes, those rare souls who changed the pattern. Maybe fate is fabric, and we are its frayed edges. Not fully cut, not fully fixed, just enough space to stitch a new line. And maybe that line is you. So here we are. After all the questions, the science, the silence, is free will real? Maybe. Maybe not. But the asking matters. The turning inward. The noticing. Because in the end, even if you are a wave in the ocean, you are still aware of the sea. And that awareness, that flicker of knowing, might be the freest thing of all. There is a space between thought and action. A fraction of time so small, it almost disappears. But in that silence, a decision is born. Not always loud, not always certain, but it's there. A ripple in the void, the breath before the step, the blink before the leap. Maybe that's where your will lives, not in what you do, but in the space before you do it. Sometimes we confuse freedom with abundance of choice, but too many paths can paralyze the walker. You stare at the fork in the road and forget to move. True freedom may not be in having options, but in knowing which path is yours. The knowing doesn't come from logic. It comes from stillness. And in that stillness, the noise fades, and your feet begin to walk. Imagine if a machine could predict your next word, your next move, even your dreams. Would you still believe in choice? Science marches forward, building oracles from code. But prediction is not purpose. A map is not the journey. You are not the sum of probabilities. You are the moment that surprises even the algorithm. When you look back, life feels inevitable. The steps you took, the turns you made, all stitched into a story that makes perfect sense. But that's memory speaking, not freedom. The real question is, in the moment, did you feel it? The trembling, the pause, the presence. That's not hindsight. That's choice. What if your freedom isn't about grand choices, but tiny rebellions, the kind no one sees? Breathing through anger, pausing before reacting, saying no when the world expects yes. Small moments where you remember, I am not just a reaction. I am response. That is the quiet revolution. That is the soul's protest. Some choices feel small, a glance, a word, a silence. But in the cosmic equation, the smallest forces ripple the farthest. You turn left instead of right, and a new life unfolds. Is that fate, or is it you? Gently nudging reality with your breath. Perhaps the universe writes the symphony, but you choose the rhythm. Freedom is not the absence of constraint. It is dancing within it. You are bound by time, by biology, by gravity, yet you write poetry. You are limited, yet limitless. This paradox is not a prison. It is the canvas. You are not the paint. You are the painter. Maybe free was never about proving anything. Not to science, not to gods, not even to yourself. Maybe it was always about participation, being awake, being present, choosing to notice that you're alive. And in that noticing, you are no longer a passenger. You are the witness. And maybe that is enough. And even if your path was written, even if every breath was predetermined, you still lived it. You still felt it. You still loved. And that experience, raw, fragile, fleeting, is yours. Not fate's, not logic's, yours. Maybe that's what makes it sacred. So we arrive here, at the end of the thread. Do we have free will? Maybe not in the way we imagined. But in every breath you've taken with awareness, in every moment you paused and chose compassion over habit, there, you are free. Not because you broke the rules of the universe, but because you remembered that even within them, you can still choose how to be. And maybe, just maybe, that's more powerful than control.